Hey, thanks for tuning in. My name's Chris and this is Headlight Revolution. In this product video review, we're going to be talking about the Truck-Lite 80275. This is your standard PAR36 4.5-inch round size light, but it's a whole housing replacement and it's totally LED. You know, it used to be the fact that you could only get this size light in a halogen incandescent, and a little while ago, Truck-Lite released this version, which is really great because these lights, this size is called PAR36. It's a standardized size. So we're going to take a look at this product, explain what's good about it, explain what's bad about it, compare it to a couple other products, and just give you an idea of why you might want the Truck-Lite 80275 for your next project. Now the Truck-Lite 80275 is a really high quality piece, and one of the best parts about it for most people is the price. There are similar units out there that would replace this that are more expensive. Sure, they're brighter and they look a little bit more wild, but it kind of depends on what you need. If you need a more affordable, good plug-and-play alternative, this is great. So it's called the PAR36. If you've never heard of that, Google it. You're gonna see that it's a common size. A lot of emergency vehicles will use this type of round mount, and the PAR36 light would fit in there. And traditionally, you would have one of those halogen seal beam lights, and when the light burnt out, you'd pull it out and throw a new one in. This is what they use on cop cars for a long time for emergency lighting. But now we have the LED version, which theoretically you should never have to replace again. They talk about having a 30,000 hour lifespan. So if this is on your motorcycle or your Jeep or your emergency vehicle or whatever application you have it on, your tractor, this is one of those buy it once, turn it on and forget about it type products. Made in the USA, 3-year warranty, and it's a really high quality piece. Let's look at some of the features. The lens is UV resistant, hard coated polycarbonate, and the style of the face is supposed to look like its big brother, the 7-inch round LED headlight 27270C. So here you can see the two lights side by side. See how they look on a motorcycle, see how they look on a Jeep Wrangler. You get the idea that they really go well together. Now this design was first released by Truck-Lite a couple years ago, and now it's widely copied, and it's an LED reflector design. The first LED headlight type products use an array of LEDs, and they tried to force the light forward using high power LED optics. This product, on the other hand, goes with the idea of work smarter, not harder. So it uses one 280 lumen LED and faces backwards into this reflector bowl, and then the reflector shapes and focuses the light out ahead of you. So it's a super efficient design. We're talking about 280 lumen LED, and it only draws 0.84 amps of power at 12.8 volts DC. And the best part is, it's DOT approved. If this is your fog light or your bumper mounted universal light, you can have it on the highway, on a city street, and it's totally legal. So if you look at the face, right down here, embossed in the lens, it actually has the Truck-Lite logo. And that is the only text that you're gonna find on this lamp. Now this entire bottom section is just plain chrome, so it looks really nice. And right above it, there's a hood. And inside that hood, kind of mounted perpendicular with that chrome section, and inside that hood there is one LED, and it's facing backwards. And then it shines onto that reflector, and that's what creates your light output. You flip it around, again, it's very plain. We have the Truck-Lite logo there, and printed on the back, there are some letters. It says 80275 is the model number, and then what I'm guessing are just a bunch of production batch numbers. Nothing you need to know about. This little screen is actually a moisture vent, and the purpose of this is if you are in a situation where condensation can be allowed to form inside the lens, this vent is going to let the condensation out without letting excess moisture in. And lastly, we have a really nice, long, modifiable harness. It comes with like an H11 style connector And this is not going to fit most applications. This is more of a universal setup, and I like how long the wire is because you can just cut it and splice it in anywhere. So like I said, the 80275 is a standardized style. It's 4.5 inches round, called PAR36, PAR36. So there's a bunch of different lights like this, and another one that is the same size and same shape is the JW Speaker 6045. So both these lights are made in America. The JW Speaker product produces 750 lumens of light. The Truck-Lite product produces 280 lumens of light. The JW Speaker 6045 has a lifetime warranty and is made in the USA. The Truck-Lite 80275 has a 3-year warranty and is also made in the USA. So the JW Speaker version is an older model, and it's a little bit brighter than the Truck-Lite one, but it's also significantly more expensive. Now, because they're both the same size, there's a whole bunch of different mounts out there for these. If you, let's say, have these mounted on your Jeep for fog lights, and you want to have matching bumper lights, you can get these extra rubber mounts. So the Truck-Lite one can fit in this mount, and the JW Speaker one can fit in the mount also. So then you have something like this, where it's actually a pedestal mount and it's universal. So this is just a standard PAR36 rubber universal pedestal mount. So if you had the Truck-Lite 7-inch round headlight in your Jeep and the Truck-Lite 4.5-inch round fog lights done on your bumper, and you wanted extra lights, you could put them in the rubber mounts and bring them up on top of the bumper and set them there, kind of like the older Jeeps. Because this is basically a drop-in for the JK. So if you wanted to add some extra lights, it's really, really easy to do. The other option is, here at Headlight Revolution, we have this aluminum mounting clamp. It is a JK fog light adapter, but it actually can be used as a universal mount. So it fits around the Truck-Lite fog light like this. Even has alignment posts on the back, so you can't screw it up. And now you can either mount it in the JK Jeep Wrangler fog light location, or cut a hole anywhere. You want lights in your back bumper, cut the hole out that's about 4.5 inches round, then use these brackets to secure it in place. Or if you wanted lights, you know, and basically any flush mount application, you can use these aluminum brackets to mount the Truck-Lite 80275. So as I mentioned, these lights are a standard size. They're gonna fit a lot of different applications, but one of the most popular applications for the Truck-Lite 80275 is on the Jeep Wrangler JK Classic bumper. There's 2 ways to install this thing. The first one is a little trick I learned from one of the guys at Truck-Lite at SEMA at their booth. He said, when you get home, just try it, just trust me. He said, I've had mine like this for a while and it works great. Just put it in through the front and kind of press it in. It'll actually pressure fit into the bumper. If you give it a tap, it's gonna really get in there, and you can kind of align it, and you can even epoxy it from the backside. It does fit pretty tight. I'm not necessarily gonna recommend this because if you don't do it good enough or you're driving on a really, really rough terrain and it falls out, I don't really wanna be responsible for that. This is your call if you're gonna do it this way, because we do have another option that actually secures it. But a lot of people do it this way. Like I said, the guys at Truck-Lite, and they say it works great. So you can either pressure fit it from the front. The other option is to mount it from the back, like the factory fog light. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get out. So here's the factory Jeep Wrangler JK fog light housing versus the Truck-Lite. As you can see, they aren't exactly the same product. So how do we get this to mount like this? So the original fog light housing is held in place by 4 screws. You can see them there. And the bracket system just lines up with those 4 screws. Pretty simple. The Truck-Lite product doesn't have any type of bracket system at all because it's designed to pop into a rubber mount like we showed you earlier. So when you go to line it up, it doesn't really go where you want it to go. So we take the 4 screws out of the bumper where the factory fog light was held, and our little aluminum bracket kit then goes in place. It has the exact same bolt hole locations as the 4 originals, and it clamps the new LED fog light in place. So you clamp the fog light in, and then put it in place there. And there's basically two ways to do this. You can either use the supplied hardware and take the nut off, and actually screw this machine screw into the factory location, like so. And basically what's going to happen is you have a rough plastic opening for the screw, and the new machine screws, you're going to have to kind of force them in. It's probably best to use some type of a power drill or a impact driver or something to really get them in there to bite and grab and create their own threading. So you can either do it that way or get some long self-tapping screws and basically do the same thing, you know. Clamp the light into the bracket system here, and then just zip, zip, put some longer self-tapping screws into the plastic. This is really, really thick plastic, and you don't need to go in very far. Now there's two tricks. They aren't necessary, but I really believe that your install will turn out better if you do this. The original fog light has a couple alignment pins that are here and here. If you take a side cutter or a razor blade or something similar, a cutting tool, and remove those two, your whole bracket assembly is going to be able to fit closer up into the fog light area. The second thing is when you put the new Truck-Lite fog light up here, you can see that there's a lot of space up top, but on the bottom, it's kind of hitting this flat surface. You see it's all rounded and it gets really, really close to this flat edge. So I would actually take some kind of a die grinder, something to remove some metal, and trim this down and kind of make it rounded to match the rest of the opening. This fog light is a little bit larger than the original. The original one's about 4 inches, the new one is 4.5 inches. So it isn't gonna fit completely perfect, but that's because it wasn't made for the Jeep Wrangler bumper. But you can make it work, and it turns out really, really good. So I've got the Truck-Lite housing installed with our aluminum Jeep Wrangler bumper mount kit. And you can see the similarities in the way the original unit mounts versus the new Truck-Lite LED fog light with our bracket kit. It just gives the Truck-Lite product something to be held in to mount to the factory location. The last step in connecting this product to your Jeep Wrangler as a plug-and-play option is the wire harness. You have two ways to do this. You can either cut off this big connector and hardwire it yourself, solder and tape it and make it nice and weatherproof, or we've got plug-and-play options for it. We have the 9145 type connector, which plugs directly into the Truck-Lite socket, and then it connects to your factory Jeep wiring. Now this is if you have 2007 to 2009 with the 9145 fog light bulb, or we have the exact same harness with the 2504 type bulb. So here is again the original Jeep Wrangler fog light housing with a 2504 type bulb. It's a very strange kind of bulb, and we've got the harness that is a direct replacement. So the one side plugs into the Truck-Lite wiring, and the other side plugs into your factory 2504 type bulb wiring. Both of these are available along with the Truck-Lite fog light, the JW speaker version, and the metal mounting brackets at our website at www.headlightrevolution.com. So here you can see the front view of the Jeep Wrangler bumper with the Truck-Lite 80275 and our aluminum mount kit. It's a bit recessed, and it's also not perfectly lined up. We kind of just threw it in quick, and you can actually do a few things to make it fit less recessed. If you trim the metal backing on the bumper and you trim those alignment points for the factory fog light housing like I just talked about, it'll actually bring the light closer into the front of the bumper. And if you look at this one, you can see the difference between the way the stock fog light mounts and the new Truck-Lite. With a little bit of tweaks, we can make the Truck-Lite one sit more flush to the back side, but it's never gonna come all the way up close to the front of the bumper opening like the factory one does. But it's kind of a sacrifice that you have to make for upgraded fog lights. This is one of 2 or 3 options that are out there. So if you want to do the Truck-Lite, this is the way they look. and when they're installed on the vehicle, you know, I realize that we're focusing on them and talking about what's wrong with them. But when they're on the vehicle, this issue of them being recessed doesn't actually look very bad. When it's part of a bigger picture, it's not something that people complain about. Most of our customers that get these say, I love the new fog lights, they look awesome, they match my headlights, they're way brighter than stock, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I really believe that it's not that big of a deal. Here is the original fog light housing from the Jeep Wrangler JK, just for comparison. And the thing I noticed is it's actually really similar to the beam pattern output of the Truck-Lite 80275. The biggest difference is going to be the intensity of the light and the color of the light. This stock bulb is a 4300K roughly color temperature, and you can see it's kind of a whitish yellow. It's actually a pretty decent beam pattern. You can see left to right how wide it is. We are about 25 feet away from the wall, and if I go up, you can kind of see the shape of it, and I go back down, you can see the top. It does have a cutoff line, and then right above the center of the cutoff line, it has like an extension of light that isn't quite as bright. I'm guessing it's engineered that way just to give a little bit more light going downrange without blinding everybody. So now we jump into the Truck-Lite 4.5 inch round 80275 fog light. And it has a similar kind of rectangular-ish shape like the stock Jeep Wrangler fog light, but it is a much better color. It's like a 5500K color, sort of like a pure white. It does have a cutoff line, again with a little bit of extra light at the very top of the beam pattern to go downrange a little bit without blinding people. And if I go up, you can see how tall the beam pattern is. If I go left to right, you can see how wide it is. It's about the same width as the stock fog light. It's definitely brighter in some parts, but the thing I'm not a huge fan of is it kind of has a bunch of layers, like sediment in a rock bed or something, where you can see each layer of the light beam pattern. But it is definitely brighter, nicer color, kind of has an HID color. And lastly, we have the JW Speaker 6045. This light is unbelievable. Now remember, we're showing you the Truck-Lite 80275, and this is just for comparison's sake. It's way wider than the Truck-Lite version. It's a much sharper cutoff line, if you like that sort of thing. And it has a very interesting color. The color band at the top and bottom is yellow and red. The color in the middle is like a 6000K, and the color around the center is more like a 5000K. But the biggest thing is these are absolutely insanely wide, but they're also much more money. These are 750 lumens where the Truck-Lites are 280. So, you know, you can expect to see a pretty big difference in light output. So this is the JW Speaker 6045. Now, one more thing that we have to show you is the test field pictures. This is our 100-yard test range. You can see first we have the Truck-Lite 80275. Again, like what you saw in our shop, it does light up the road pretty good. This is one fog light, and you can see it goes left to right pretty well. It illuminates the entire road. It doesn't go super far, but it's not a super high power light. It's an affordable LED replacement. The color is great. It still has kind of that shadowing, but if you're doing the Truck-Lite headlights and you want them to match the fog lights, this is a great option. Now here in our test field, again, same spot, 100 yards, but this is the JW Speaker 6045. The first thing you're gonna notice is it is way wider than the Truck-Lite product, and you can see the color band, the red and the yellow on the top and bottom, the white in the middle. It goes further down the road, it goes further left and right, and it just depends on what you're looking for. You're looking for more of an affordable option that's drop-in, plug-and-play, go with the Truck-Lite. If you're looking for the brightest and best of the best, maybe give JW Speaker an option. But nowadays, there's even a better JW Speaker light, the 6145. If you want to check out more about that, look at our other videos and find 6145 for a different Jeep fog light option. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching our video. I hope that you learned something. I hope we answered some of your questions. If I made more questions for you, contact us. Visit us online at www.headlightrevolution.com. Click Contact Us, and then you can call us or email us. And if you want the JW Speaker 6045 or this Truck-Lite 80275 or the matching headlights or auxiliary lights or a light bar or interior lights, anything that you need for your automotive lighting project, let us know. We'd love to help. www.headlightrevolution.com, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the videos that we're making. We'd love to have you on board for the next one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.